I'm good.
Hello, 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 beloveds. Y'all, we are so excited because today on Pontification with a Pro, we are talking about a true pro. And y'all, this lady, she has just such a phenomenal vision, just this expansive vision of money that directly ties to a debt-free degree. And so, welcome, 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 Deanna, to Pontification with a Pro.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am grateful to be here and to provide as much information as I can.
You're amazing. You're just absolutely amazing. And so, she and I met through a networking group and had a one-on-one. And I've been in and around Deanna's orbit for quite some time. And I'm always amazed at your take on money because oftentimes people with those initials after their name have a very specific either prescribed or cookie cutter. And yours is so different. And so, can you talk a little bit, maybe about your philosophy? And I definitely want to dig into this amazing thing that you've created. So, you can tie it all in there together, or we can talk about one and then the other, however that works.
Absolutely, Ross. Excuse me. Okay. Well, you mentioned the initials after my name, and I'm actually very proud of them because it does stand for accredited financial counselor. Um, and I am also a financial planner. I am a financial advisor. I do everything in the area of finance, but like you said, I like to look at it a little different because I work with humans who make money and earn money, and I want to help the humans live their best life. And
Yes.
that's really what it comes down to. And so my philosophy is about financial wellness, everything from having a healthy financial plan. I know so many financial planners out there are all about creating just wealth, 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 wealth. But you can be incredibly wealthy and not be financially healthy. And that makes for a very unhappy life. It makes for just all the things that just take people down to where they just feel ugh every day. And I like feeling good. I love doing things that make me happy, doing the things that give me joy in life. And teaching people about money and how to create a healthy financial plan is something that brings me joy. And
Yes.
when I see them learn to create a good relationship with their finances,
Yes.
then they start to get that joy. And it's amazing what happens when you do start to have a healthy relationship with the money because it does compound, it does create for you. And
Yes.
that is fascinating, just
Yes.
watching that happen in real time. And so
Yes.
that's where my focus is absolutely every day.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. How does that translate to, it may go into the thing that you've created. How does that translate specifically to young people and young people who are thinking about heading to college? And of course, everything that we do at Debt Free Degree is all about saying no to student loans and yes to financial freedom. So what does that through line look like for you?
Well, not only do I have personal experience with this, I have a son who's in college right now, so I'm dealing with that. But to translate, it is about understanding what you're going for. What is the purpose? Why are you getting a degree in the first place?
Mhm.
And do you own it? Do you have that, like I said, ownership of that degree? Meaning, do you know how much value you're putting into it, how much value you're getting out of it? And so if it's not the traditional path, if you can find ways to not go into debt, absolutely. If it takes you longer, that's okay.
Mhm.
It's planning for each step of the way. And so I've worked with a lot of young people and helping them say, what would it look like if you did it a little bit different?
Mhm.
What would it look like if you worked and went to school
Yeah.
instead of taking out or just relying on your parents or anything? What would it look like in all these different options? Because what is a healthier way to do it? Because what does it look like if you go into $100,000 of debt and you graduate and you don't get a job for 2 years?
Right. Right.
And helping them understand that. And then beyond that, it's teaching them that they can also save for their future while
Mhm.
going to school,
Yes.
while
Yes.
not going into debt, but also creating a future.
Yes, 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 yes. So you mentioned, and I might botch this a little bit, but you mentioned it's possible to be wealthy but not financially healthy. And I'm curious if getting a degree but owing $100,000 would fall under that category.
Definitely. I mean, you can be academically wealthy
Mhm.
and not financially healthy. I have run into the perpetual students. They
Yes.
are adults that are in their 50s, 60s that have to keep going to school because they can't afford to pay on their loans. And they are professionals and they make a decent amount of money that in reality should say they have a very good life. But because they have so much in student loan debt and they're either have to go to school or they have to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to that, they don't get to live that life. Even though on papers, they look wealthy. You know,
Wow.
when you actually look at the numbers, they look amazing.
Wow.
But
Okay, so
yeah,
just so I understand, Deanna, students who are currently in school do not have to pay on their student loans. So there are people in their 50s who are still in school taking some kind of classes, matriculating at some institution of higher
at
ed.
least half time. Mm-hmm,
So that at least half time, which is in most places 6 credit hours, so that's 2 classes in most
mm-hmm.
places, they are perpetually doing that so they don't have to pay on their loans. And
Yes.
I'm assuming they're getting loans to pay for the classes.
Mm-hmm. Oh
And
yeah.
and when you were talking about earlier about what do you own, there are some student loans, not all of them, but there's some student loans that if you pass away, the money that you owe, it passes to your heirs and they have to pay that off. So like the knowledge in your head is gone and dead, but the money you
Mm-hmm.
still owe for some loans is passed to your heirs. And I think I am today years old hearing that that is an actual thing, that people are still in school to avoid
Mm-hmm.
paying their student loans. I
Yep.
I really don't know how I that's wow.
I mean, it's also scary when you see that they have three or $400,000 in student loans at that point, and you're just going. You try not to have a reaction, meet with him. Okay, let's just say what it is, and he's like, "No, I'm either going to always be in school, or," and then it's like, "Well, what happens?" Like you said, what happens if when something happens to you? Because the only thing inevitable is life is that everybody's going to die. That's the only thing we can count on.
So in those cases, maybe I'm asking an inappropriate question, but in those cases, is when I die, the loans die, and so nobody has to pay on them, or
It depends on how they've taken them out. And generally, a spouse is still going to be responsible, especially for a lot of private loans. Spouses get hit the hardest. Generational heirs like children and things like that don't get hit as hard, but spouses, it can really devastate.
wow, wow. Did not know this conversation was going to go this way, but oh my goodness. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, I want to talk about this phenomenal product that you've created because you can literally do it as a kindergartner or as a, 50, 60, 70 year old. Obviously, the earlier the better. And I just am so fascinated and truly in awe of your vision because you're the first person that I've ever heard in this realm talk about it in this way.
Well, I'm assuming you're referring to my Beyond the Budget
Yes.
toolkit, which is a practical guide to integrating financial wellness and emotional self-care. We
Yes.
tend to compartmentalize so much, and we're like, money is over here, and my self-care is over here, and I have to pay for self-care, but money's over here.
Yes.
Well, what if it were combined? What
Yes.
if it were together? And so I've created tools, and they're very, very simple tools that either financial professionals can use when they're working with people or individuals can do on their own. And it's really just helping aligning the values, reducing the stress, enhancing joy. And so um, part of it is just, really learning to track your spending, learning to deal with your finances, but doing it in a way that really has a mood check-in, that really has a constant emotional awareness around your money
Mm.
and helping you categorize your money so that it can provide for you what you need in self-care.
Mm, mm. So can you list some like, some of your clients that have used this and what their trajectory looks like what their what things did they find surprising and are they also using it to help their kids go to college in this and then kids in
Mm-hmm.
college can use this? What does it mean? What does it mean if I say to my grandmother, I do not want one more hoodie? Take whatever money you would have given me for that hoodie and let me put it in my college account so I can buy, a cup of coffee when I'm on campus or something. I don't know.
Well, I do have current clients using it and they are finding amazing progress. For instance, I have a client who it's taken her 3 years of talking to me and knowing me to be able to even talk about money. She has so many fears, so many struggles related to it that she can't even do it. But finally introducing this, she goes, whoa, oh, I can do this. And a lot of it is the simplification.
Yeah.
And we think of a budget. Budgets can be overwhelming. They can be restrictive. They can have all these negative connotations. It's too much.
Mhm.
And so, what if we took everything you spend money on and we divided it into five simple categories? You have your essentials, you have your joy, things that bring you joy,
Oh,
things that help you create rest,
wow.
things that are for growth, and emotional safety.
Wow.
And if we put it all in
Wow.
those categories, you can find, well, okay, so that you mentioned the new hoodie. Let's talk about that. What does that new hoodie do for you? Do you need it? Does it actually fit one of these categories?
Wow.
Or are you looking for growth? And that's where you say, well, I'm looking for growth. So that's where I would rather have the money to put in to help me for college or
Yes.
to help me for my future or,
Yes.
whatever it is I want.
Yeah.
And helping young people understand the difference between, okay, do I need to go buy, that new pair of Nike sneakers?
Yes. Yes.
Or can I
Yes.
use it for all these things? And, sometimes that pair of Nike sneakers brings you joy.
Yeah.
And that is okay. That's
Yes.
the purpose of money.
Yeah.
And it's helping people. I don't see this as much with younger individuals because they tend to be easier at spending. Like I see this a lot with older people that are so restricted. They're like, I can't spend money on myself.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And they have to learn how to spend money. But I have actually seen it with some college students where I have to teach them how to spend money.
Wow. Wow. Because they're so used to saying no to everything that would cost money
Hmm.
to, and then
Hmm.
that becomes a habit.
Right.
Wow.
But even if
Wow.
you're saving for college, everything's about saving for college. And it's like, wait, are you living life?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I so often am hearing stories about people who are taking the $100,000 in debt. Where to
Hmm.
me, they're not thinking about quality of life at all because paying back $100,000 is really, really, really hard, particularly because there's there's no asset that you can sell to recoup any of that money. If I go buy $100,000 car, which I would not do, but or a home or something like that, an asset, even if I'm upside down in it, I can sell it for something and recoup something out of it. But
Hmm.
I don't often encounter students that you have to teach to spend money. However, that's probably like out of my realm because I've got them so in debt-free degree. That's probably like when I'm hearing of them. And so maybe those are a little bit of red flags that I need to be paying attention to get
Hmm.
them to connect with you.
Well, absolutely. If you take someone, so you have someone who's been really conditioned, and sometimes they do it themselves. It's not even their parents. It's everything. They're just like they're the miser philosophy, as we call it. They want to save everything, but then there's that. Okay, so they need a new notebook for their class.
Mhm.
Well, I've seen to the point where the extreme is where they take an old notebook and erase everything in and reuse it. The other part is, well, there's still pages in this one, so I'll use this one because there's 3 pages in it, and then I'll use another one. And then it actually creates more chaos because they're so afraid of buying that notebook or
Wow.
whatever it is.
Wow.
And it's like, well, I can't spend money. I have to do this because I want to graduate, and it's the stress of it. And that's where when we talk about the wellness part of it, when you are so in stress, if you are so stressed about not getting into debt, it might cause even more stress if
Right.
you can't spend on the things that you need to do.
Yes, 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 yes. Wow, 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 wow. Well, I literally could talk to you for the next 5 hours. And so I do though we probably need to close so that people actually watch the interview. So what would you like to say in closing, Deanna? How do people get in touch with you? What would be your closing to say, come join me and let's be healthy in our money habits.
Well, I appreciate that. And I absolutely could talk to you for a long time, and we have in the past. But I really want to direct people to, obviously, if you want to find me, find someone else who can do that if you don't want to find me, because I know I'm not the right person for everybody, but I would love to just chat with you. You can go to my website. My company is called Key Financial, and that is KI Financial. And my website is kifinancial.life because it's all about living the best life. And, you can reach me there. You can email me, Deanna at kifinancial.life. And, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm on the socials, Deanna ONeal AFC. Again, and I do provide a lot of services, but I'm just happy to chat sometimes and let's just do a simple mood and money check-in. Let's figure out what is that biggest stressor and start the conversation so that you can move forward. You can create the life you want. And yeah, you can be debt free. You can have that degree and you can be living a healthy, happy life without the stress of everything else piling on it, which is what our young people need right now. There are so many stressors in this world, and they're all freaked out about everything left, right, forward. They don't know where to go.
That's right.
And so, if we can help them and if we can help just one person today
Yeah.
create that, yeah, definitely. I am on board with everything that you do, Roz. You're amazing, and I am happy to share, my toolkit. I don't have it uploaded on my website, but if they call me, I can, that's something that I would love to do in our discovery call is share the toolkit so even they can start with that.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You are a rock star. Thank you for being committed to Debt Free Degree and for everything that you do to help people be healthy and wealthy. And thank you for being you and your beautiful heart. I just adore you. So thanks. All
Well,
right.
thank
That has
you.
been
I appreciate you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. That has been Pontification with a Pro. And until next time, y'all check everything out on the YouTube and y'all check Deanna out and be thinking about the difference between being healthy and wealthy and think about the synergy of the two, like Deanna just taught us. So thank you very, very much. Love y'all. Bye bye.